We're getting excited for our primary election night coverage, especially from 8 to 11:30 on our New Center Maine streaming app. You can download that for free on Amazon Fire, Roku, or Apple TV, and that's where we're going to be demonstrating some of this technology, this interactive map that's going to be helping us track the votes as they come in real time. One thing that I want to draw your attention to is some historical data that this is able to provide us. When we look at, you can pick any race you want. You can pick the Senate race, you could pick the governor's race, the primary. We don't have the data yet for how people voted in this primary, right? Because the polls haven't closed yet. But what it does tell us is how many people voted, for example, in the Republican primary, the last time we had one for governor, which was June of 2018. And so as the numbers come in today, we'll start to see a line be drawn from what the results were like the last time we had an election of this type on a primary to how the votes compare to this one. I think a lot of people are expecting to see a higher number of total votes cast in this primary compared to the previous primary in these races, just because of how much attention all these races have gotten. Now, we're going to be keeping an eye on, obviously, the U.S. Senate race, both sides of the governor's race, and both sides of the Republican side of Congressional District 1, where they're going to be going up against Shelley Pingree. And then we're also going to be tracking the Democratic side of Congressional District 2, where we've got Democrats who will be eventually facing off against Paul LePage, running uncontested. One thing to keep in mind, polls close at 8 p.m. tonight, which means we're likely to get the results of the early voting, absentee and mail-in ballots by around 8:15 or 8:30. That's because under Maine law, the state is allowed to start doing some signature verification and some processing of those ballots 7 days prior to the election, but the election clerks are not allowed to release the final results, the tally of the early voting, until polls close. Why? If they put that data out early, it could influence people going to vote later in the day. So we will get that data relatively soon, and that's when we'll start to see these numbers going up and these counties started to filling in with some colors based on who you see getting the most votes in each of those respective counties.